And we're live back on
Oh, I
YouTube.
did
And we're live back on Periscope. And we want to
Yeah.
thank all you guys again for your patience. We do apologize one way or another, but hey, we're still going. We had a few technical difficulties, but
Expanding that love and understanding your light and that consciousness in it, and knowing that you are here to project those loving vibrations. You're there to project all those things, and even through those experiences, the ones that feel like they're the hardest are conditioning strength within, so that when you pass forward into the next individual of light, that you can be wisdom within that because of that strength. And it does take time to heal a lot of things, but it's just all within that experience. And a lot of us, we understand that, um and we do and we don't, whatever perspective you're coming off of, or whatever space of growth that you're in, it's all okay. But I will say that, um being in control of your destiny and your journey, and understanding that light and love and being unconditional in that, is being on purpose. And when you're on purpose with your intentions, and you're being in the present moment, and saying, hey, I accept all things as they are, even if you are the victim, or even if you are the victimizer, you're in recognition of those things, and saying, I will grow and expand. And a lot of times we hold on to things that have happened to us, and we don't release them to the universe and say, I get that experience. Yes, maybe sometimes it was a hard lesson, it hurt me very bad. These things have happened, and it takes time for a lot of things that I know, blessed divine creator, that we go through, that are a lot of hard traumas, that it does take a bit of time to allow those wounds to heal. But within that, at the I'll say the beginning, not the end, but at the beginning of that enlightenment, that you gain that perspective that I am here for a purpose. And I always tell, especially my cousins, you're already a winner. You're born a winner. You're one out of a million. And it's like, be proud of that within itself, that you came to have this experience and to be a part of this reality, to create and love and be in divine nature. And that is, definitely a great part of our responsibility here as beings, is to project that. So staying on point with that unconditional love, and being in a space of manifesting, even when you don't feel like it. There's plenty of times that, I may be in spaces and I'm not really feeling like it, because I done got triggered, and I done had a moment, and somebody done said or did something that I was really not like, and I'm like, what am I doing? It's just accepting everything for what it is in that moment, but being in, yes, being in control of that, and understanding your divine love within. And it does take practice, 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 practice. I don't care what anybody says. Those who are just super way higher conscious, they themselves have had moments of levels within themselves, and your only competitor is yourself within the mind and the spirit. And you give thanks for participating every single day. And it is about perspective. It is about what you see the world and you view it. And sometimes things may seem like there's a cloud, but you raise those vibrations. And what bigger cheerleader to be than to be your own cheerleader? And when you project those vibrations, when you put those energies out to the universe, those things will come back to you. These people out there that say these things and they feel these are all experiences. They're just not puffing smoke out the crack of their behinds. They're really, this is really like a participation in choice, and saying, I choose to be happy. I choose to accept my reality to be a positive
I
one.
think a lot of us
And
think
yes,
it's
I
not at
will have
times.
hard days. I will have challenges. Yeah, I will have challenges. And I'm running that. Go ahead. Go
I would
ahead.
say one big thing for myself that I've realized is when it comes to challenges and all that, like issues, my biggest challenges have come from my family and the ones closest to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I find that, you know how, like you said, we know we chose, like, our destiny, you know, we chose to come back here for our purpose. We knew and understood and placed these people there for ourselves.
Yeah.
To say, okay, you have issues with this, well, I'm going to put that in your mother for you to have to deal with. Oh, you have issues with that, I'm going to put that in your father, so you have to face it. It's very difficult for you to kind of run away from certain members that, you know, you're with, your family, you know, different friends. So you have to face these things. And once you see, okay, after you have to realize and question, why did this happen? What does this mean? What can I get out of it? You know, what purpose does it actually serve me? Because everything serves a purpose for you. Everything has a lesson, a reason, something for you to carry. And understand, I always tell people, sometimes you might not know why the fuck this happened to you, but you might be dealing with a situation to give the lesson to somebody else. For example, I might not have to bump my head 10 times. She might bump her head 2 for me. He might bump his head 3 for me. And then come back, and when we finally meet, at whatever time in our life, he can say, let me tell you what the fuck happened to me. I went through this, I went through that. She can tell me, I went through this and I went through that.
Well, on top of that, what I want to say is simply this: that which you are not. If you can't know hot if you haven't been like
That's
if you
fact.
you gotta understand you
The
can't
one
know
without
hot if
the
you don't know
other.
cold. You can't
Right,
be happy
right,
if I
you gotta
understand
deal
sad.
with it.
You have to
Yeah.
understand both parts. Out of what she said too, you have to understand. There is nobody who is the weakest. There is nobody who is the strongest.
Yeah.
And the favorite quote that I've always heard, and it's stuck with me so well, is you are the strongest force, so let the force be with you. And I mean, no, and I thought I had to give him applause because I was like, that really chills down my spine. But the thing is, you have to realize that within yourself, you're all one entity and different collectives of ways.
We choose.
No, we choose.
We
and what
choose
I'm saying,
to come in, but that's a hard pill to swallow for some
Right.
people. It's like
Absolutely.
I
I did this
choose,
to
like,
myself.
but letting
That's
that,
where that
letting that,
forgiveness.
letting that settle down, and you say, all right,
I did it for a reason.
I am here for a reason. I'm
Yep.
going to serve my purpose. These are my experiences. And once, so a lot of people get over that hump and they say, you know, I accept this for what it is, what those 5 stages. I'm always talking about the 5 stages.
What she's talking about are the 5 stages of the Ross theory. Many of you people might know it as some other theory, but I coin it easily as the Ross theory to remember that first you start off with what is it called?
Denial.
You start off with denial. You start off with anger. You start off with bargaining, then depression, then acceptance. These are the 5 stages. They use this all the time in psychology.
That's all across the board, and it's
With
like
everything,
right, and it's like getting into that space of understanding that we all come to serve that purpose and settling down with even
people get stuck in that.
and it's like you go through
You
a
can get
6
stuck
year
for years
immersion
until you actually get past that
until you
motion.
get the lesson, and then when you get the lesson, but just understanding you're not alone. You're not in these spaces of where you're going through maybe a season, and part of that season is mostly depression. Or you're having anxiety, and it's like it's normal. And and a lot of times when you are in that bubble and you're in that space and you're going through that I say mission because it just sounds so freaking awesome. I'm on a mission, my quest, my destiny, my soul's purpose.
So
but you're driving that, you're driving that wheel because we're all participating in that. And if you're understanding that you're the winner, you're already coming in as a winner because you beat the system 1 out of a million. You know. Okay, so now let's get to the meat of this. All right, I'm gonna have this experience here, such and such. You know, this was a great experience. This was a horrible experience, or this person did this to me. This one, that did that to me, and now I'm like processing and going through the emotional shifts and changes, and now that alchemy is happening with energy, and then the wisdom settles down within that, and then you're accepting it for what it is, and then you give thanks so that when you've driven that ship and you've participated in that experience, then another being comes along who's having that. You're in the seat of guidance or teaching. And we're always in a rhythm of learning and teaching. Learning to sometimes in the same, but understanding that you're never alone. You're not alone, and just like having that point of understanding how we have to vibrate with those frequencies and say, I see you. I understand what's going on. I feel your energy shifting. or I feel it at a low. Let me bump up, and just understanding that if I rub up and charge, I'm gonna get too charged and good. And not everything's gonna be peachy, you know, it's not gonna be peachy, it's not gonna be, you know, a super duper excellent moment, but understanding when you're in school, when you're in practice or you're in the rhythm of class.
Sometimes you're gonna be uncomfortable.
Yeah, and that's birth.
Right.
That's birth within all aspects of life. So.
And I would say that just even the collective you hang out with, like I said, I make this saying all the time, is if you hang out with 5 intelligent people, you'll be the 6th. If you hang out with 5 unconditionally loving people, you'll be the 6th.
I always say you only as good as your top 5.
Exactly. There you go. If you have that collective around you, or better yet, let's say you don't. Let's say you have a collective that you feel that is not resonating. Get away from that collective and create a new collective.
Because
don't worry about that. Exactly. You make a choice to create what you desire. Just like how we're talking about your emotions, you choose if you want to be happy or not. You have every reason to be happy. Like here, I meant to say this earlier. If you knew how amazing you were, you'd smile a lot more about who you are. And that's something we don't see within ourselves. We don't smile because of that. We're not unconditionally loving about that. And we need to see that that's a vital key to who you are. Is
your perception.
You can't just see frequencies. You just vibrate and resonate.
You got to remember, you're coming in a body just now trying to remember everything of who you are. It's okay. She just said it. She said it the best way. Like, we gotta admit that we don't know what the fuck we're doing, and that's the truth. We don't know because of and that's okay, because you gotta remember that people have led to a status quo. That is not the truth of what you are. You're much more. So smile a lot more.
You're the first.
You're not even first. You're a part of the whole. You're the first of the thing that created everything in the first place. That's you. You're all of that.
It just feels good to hear that and know that and put that into perspective, because there's a lot of times that I've trotted on my path and I feel absolutely, you know, and they say, you know, the path to enlightenment of consciousness, you know, it's a very narrow and sometimes lonely one. And it's all right. Yeah. It's all right.
But people feel like loneliness and certain things are wrong.
Well, no, they also think like, look,
there's seasons.
Let me explain this to you guys out there. Please check out on Instagram. We're gonna be coming out with a new channel. I meant to tell you this. I told you I was gonna tell you this today. We're gonna be updating the channel for Soulology with IGTV, the new Instagram TV. Yeah. We're going to be making a new channel where it has spiritual skits. It's going to be called Spiritual Laughs and Giggles. So you will be seeing different people on there.
You just got to bring reality to that. It's not so deep. It's not so heavy. Everybody takes
and this is
so
why we're
serious.
putting it. See, the reason why we're putting this out here is simply many people believe spiritual people need to be serious. And I'm trying to tell you, look, I create the science of the soul. This lady knows how food works for the body and so on and so forth. She has her own knowledge as well, especially about the Kundalini and everything. But the thing I'm saying is, it's about enjoying life. What you don't understand, most of these highly advanced beings we talk about, most of those aliens, whatever you want to call, I don't call them aliens, they're universal beings because they're one with you. You have to understand that they don't take life so seriously as you are right now, because life is not about being serious, it's about living. And we aren't able to live because we're taking life so serious that, again, I gotta get the house, I gotta get the car, I gotta get the wife, I gotta get the husband, I gotta do this.
And you can die before, you could work hard as shit trying to save up money for 10 years to get a house and die in your 9th year and never get the house. And you did not enjoy the whole fucking journey that you just went through.
And then you gotta remember that's not what it's about. Because too many people feel unsatisfied with what they're doing. Les Brown said it just kind of close to what she said. Most of us, we get the job, we get the family, and then we die. Yeah. And that is not who you are. You are more than that. Your purpose. Go on your adventure. They say the road's lonely. Here, I'm going to tell you this. Make your own choice. Yeah. It doesn't have to be. The reason, however, the reason it is that way is due to our primitive nature. That does not mean you can't create that. And that's the problem. You live in a world where you think everything is absolute. So it's this
not
way
linear.
or that way.
Yeah, it's
You
not
don't see it
linear.
as relative as either and or both.
Yeah.
It can't. You have to see You have to see the bigger picture. If you see that your
Encouragers.
society is telling you you can't be enlightened and be
You have
with
to be
someone
this
at the
or
same
that.
time
Ha.
because it's not possible, or you can't do this and that and do
Yeah.
what you want. No, you can, but you have to make the choice within it. If
Yeah.
you choose it, so it shall be in the universe. When you want something,
Yeah.
what you don't realize is you are getting the wantingness of that. You're
And
just
continue-
thinking the crying thought of, I really, really want it,
But
and that's what
continue to be
happens.
encouraged. Continue
Absolutely.
to be encouraged and
Know that
manifest
it's
the
possible.
things that you desire without. And it goes back to that childlike mind.
Mhm.
A lot of us, we feel like we have to grow
We've lost
outside
that.
of that, and we don't stay in that mind frame that anything is possible. And it's those dreamers who move and shift that.
I think that's the
That
beautiful thing
consciousness
about
We
you.
always say
Because,
it's wrong to be childish.
well,
And in
because,
so many ways, childishness
because
is,
we're
is
still
the
children.
gateway.
Again, it's a
Yeah.
status quo. Children, the one thing I love about children will
They
come up
have
to you and
unconditional
tell you
love.
you love. Like, even, like,
How it
when
is.
someone,
They will
remember
hug
someone,
you,
they
smile,
came up
like-
to me and hugged me and everything. They didn't judge me or anything.
Right.
The one thing I love about children is their wonder and this heart for
they
loving,
question
and they're
it.
not
But it's the
afraid
bel-
to come up to you.
But it's the
Like,
belief system that
Right.
we lose that value within ourselves and our perception of life, and we stop saying,
They're
I
closer
believe-
to the beginning. Like they're closer
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
that stage where you cross over into this life.
Mhm.
So they still they still connected more
True.
like than we have
They
been.
they
So,
connect
true.
more to the unconditional love where we
Right.
the problem with most of us in this world is as soon as we get to a certain level we're taught things from family, as you were saying,
Right.
and once
Grow
we're
up.
taught that, what we call grow up
Right.
in a sense, and once we're taught that this has to be the truth, because I was taught that. Like
crazy.
my pastor knows that, my Udama knows that, my avatar knows that, everybody knows that, the
But
CEO
that's
knows
nothing
that.
means to really grow up. Like emotionally, spiritually, they don't grow up.
Well, no,
They can't even accept change
well,
most of the
and
time.
that's where we lead
So
back
that's-
to, like, you have to understand,
It's-
you are not really, even me, all of us here, we're still children. I have to
Right.
tell you that. And you might think, nah, you
They're
guys are mature.
childish.
No, it's not even being childish. It's the fact that you're mentally not even close to
Right.
where people that you call elders. When you
Right.
are around, let's say, 60 to 70 to 80 years old, is
Oh,
when you are
man.
more stronger in the mind.
Yeah.
And that is something that we haven't, that's not something we have come close to. Don't get me wrong, there are many people who are our age, just like us right now, who are highly intelligent.
Oh,
That
no.
still doesn't mean we know everything.
Right.
And I won't come off as I know everything, because of the fact that I still am growing my wisdom within. And if you don't believe in a sense of that, I want you to observe. Go see an old family member, and you can't tell
Just
me
sit
that
with 'em.
you've ever met an elder or someone, an old family member, maybe even if it's not a lot, but maybe just one of them where they said something profound to you that stuck with you, and you
Mhm.
felt that worked with what you were trying to create in a sense. And that is what I'm talking about, that wisdom where, a few years back, I didn't think anything special of them, but now all of a sudden they
Right.
turn 70 years old and it's like they know everything that I
Well,
wish
a lot
I
of us still
desired to know.
value them like physically, like they're weak, they don't know, they not hip to the new ways of life. And it's like honestly, this new way is it's child like they don't know. It's not they don't know
Yeah.
what
Well,
they're
because
going
it's still a
on.
memory thing. We're still learning who
Right.
we truly are.
Yeah.
And even for elders, what impresses me at times is there are many elders out there that will tell you, break the rules.
Right.
Do what you need to do.
Because they
because
know,
because
why?
look,
They know that it was a waste of time that whole time going by.
Yes.
Exactly.
They know.
and all I can tell you for yourself, for anybody out there, is no matter what you're going through right now, whether it's
Yeah.
paying bills, whether it's you're going through a difficulty in relationships,
Distractions.
break the rules, get to where you desire to go. Go and seek what serves you
Yeah.
genuinely, no matter how hard it is. And trust me, I know for a lot of people it might be hard for you, but
Travel.
seek what you love for yourself.
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna tell you,
We didn't
nobody's
come
gonna
here
love you
just
like
to-
you.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
No, we didn't come here just to work and die. We didn't come
Right.
here just to be programmed.
But we
Yeah.
sure working on
But that's why the
it.
older people know.
Yeah.
Because they tried it. Like, they did the hard work, the family, the kids, the work, the house, the this, the that. And they saw once they crossed to the other side and
Did
was
I
like,
live?
damn, I did all that. I ain't live. I ain't do this.
I think the funny thing is we don't observe history because history is legitly, when we talk about the industry, the industrial era, that is a perfect example of kind of what you're still doing today.
Yep.
The only difference is there ain't too many people dying like that. But the thing is, you're doing it to the point where you're not really enjoying life. You're working hard to get a house, a car, or whatnot, or these special things instead of what does so-and-so desire to do? What do I love? What do I enjoy? What takes my breath away? What puts me at peace? Instead, we're working hard at this one place, and we keep doing it over and over, going in and out, clocking in and out, in and out and out.
I had an anatomy teacher talk to me. This was like last year. Anatomy teacher talked to me. He was a doctor, went through all this medical school, worked as an actual physician, everything. Then he ended up teaching at the college. And he was like, you know what? He pulled me to the side. Because he knew, like, I did my sculpting and my other arts and stuff. He was like, well, why are you choosing medicine? And I was like, because I love this too. Like, I can do both. Now, he was in the mindset of you got to choose. And I was like, I don't have to choose. I can do both. But he also told me, well, don't give up on your love. He said, because you know what? I've always loved music. He said, now that I've done all this doctor, all this different stuff, and I'm teaching it now, this is boring. He told me, he said, I don't want to do this. I just go through the motions because this is what pays the bills. But on the side at home, he's trying to do his music, but he feels like, because I think he's like 70-something, he feels like it's too late for him. And he was telling me, like, from an old soul trying to tell me, like, look,
that's never.
He was
and
like,
I think that's another degree of illusion that we put on us, that after we reach a certain age, it's over. Forget your age right now and decide for yourself what you desire.
But he was saying financially, like, you can't stop.
We could say here are two perfect people for you. One person, he is the second wealthiest man in the world, Warren Buffett. He didn't get wealthy until he was age 50. A lot of us want to get wealthy at age 20 and 30.
Right.
But look at him. He's a billionaire.
Right.
He's the second wealthiest man per se, by the way, in the world. Yeah, we got to put that out there, quote unquote. You got to understand. But the thing is, one way or another, he got to where he desired to go. And then, what's the black dude who everybody says his voice sounds like God? You know who I'm talking about. I'm trying to. He's on the tip of my tongue. He was in Morgan Freeman. There we go. Morgan Freeman.
Look at who I'm
Morgan Freeman and Samuel Jackson. They didn't become they weren't big in the industry until I believe they were in their 40s or 50s. Yeah. But then when they became very popular one way or another.
I mean, look at Oprah.
Exactly.
She was Oprah.
But one way or another, the thing is, these people did what they desired. If you desire to create a book and you're thinking, I'm not good enough for that because of this, keep going. Yeah. Because I could give you another person. The guy I just mentioned, Neil Donald Walsh. I believe he was aged either 40 or 50 in that age when he was actually known, not internationally. We could talk about anybody under the sun, music, books, if you want to do gym or whatnot. I mean, all I could say is keep going. If you want to keep growing your health, then keep going and creating that for yourself. Don't worry what other people say. Don't worry about being too late. Like if you want, let's say you're unhealthy right now and you're like, I want to be healthy. I know I'm 70 and everything. Create that for yourself. Decide that is what's going to be created. Even if you're old and you think, I can't because I don't have, no, don't put I can't. And this is what we were talking about earlier on one of our last videos about do you like liars or anything? Don't give yourself the second thought that this is what's going to happen, that I'm not good enough. Make your first thought known that I'm going to create this and I'm going to be what I desire. My body is going to be healthy. I'm going to be age 70, but I'm going to be moving like I'm age 20. And by the time you're done, you might create something that hasn't been presented on this planet, and you're only 70 years old. And someone like myself might have not known that, but the thing is, you created it. Choose that for yourself, and it will be so. Create that. Call it forth. Don't worry about what the world says, because there's nothing they can do.
Never experienced.
Remember, we don't know what the fuck we're doing.
Right.
So what is it? In a sense, do it for yourself. Do it because it's who you choose to be and choose to love within who you really are.
So,
Boom.
that being said,
Boom.
So we're gonna end it here for today, but I think this was just a great thing. And again, to everybody out there, I do want to thank you so much for your patience. And I'm glad we were able to do a part 2 because we weren't gonna leave this night without finishing this.
Right.
So just to everybody out there, have a good morning, a great afternoon, and a fantastic evening. Namaste.